Hi everyone, we're here today for a real quick tutorial Q&A on how to know if your onions are cured and ready to be racked, and we're going to go over the proper way to cure and rack your onions. So if you grow your onions and they have flopped over onto the ground, then that's your cue to pull them out of the ground. I have racked my onions in my greenhouse along the table. As you can see, we have racked the onions on the table here. They have been laying out for a few weeks now, and the onions have gotten nice and crispy dry, which means it's time to go ahead and cut them further and get them on the racks. After you harvest your onions, you want to place them out in a sunny, dry area in order for them to cure. Curing is what enables them to get the paper coating around them to allow the roots to dry out and for the stems to die before you cut them off. You want to ideally do it in a sunny and dry area. You can do it inside your greenhouse as long as it is well ventilated with fans. Some people like to do it outside on the ground, but you need to make sure that there is no rain in the coming forecast for the next 2 weeks, as that will spoil your product. You can also rack them in your garage or anywhere that is well ventilated and sunny that offers lots of places for them to dry. I will often do it in my greenhouse areas on the tabletops or on the fabric tabletops, but never out in the direct open just due to weather. Once your onions have acquired a nice papery coating around them and the greens have dyed to a crunchy, crispy, then you can cut them off. You want to leave ideally a 1 to 2 inch neck in order just to help them not directly go to rot. If you cut it down here right next to the head, your onion is not going to have a big shelf life. If you want to ensure you have maximum shelf life, you need to ensure you have at least a 2-inch neck, ideally. That can include crispy stem. Once your onions are ready to rack, make sure you have a wheelbarrow. I have a wheelbarrow here for my greens. When you're ready to cut the onions and get them on the shelf, choose whichever one you want. Here's your neck. You're going to come up to about here. Cut. Put them in the box. We'll take them up and rack them, and I'll show you what that looks like just here in a little bit. But for now, let's cut through some of these onions. You'll see even if they have a soft neck, I'm still leaving at least an 1 to 2 inch neck on there. When you harvest your onions, you want to make sure to leave the dirt on them, as that does help ensure that they have the maximum shelf life, as the dirt does help preserve them. Okay, so we have made it up to the drying room. This is where we store all of our dried and harvested food. We also have, as you can see, we have food in the jars back there from the freeze dryer. But this is our onion rack. And I have lined the onion rack this year with these burlap bags. Normally we just do it like this with the bare metal racks, but I use these racks over the wintertime to store everyday household items. And I just want to add a little bit more protection because this is food that we are storing on here. So I've got the onion box up here. We're going to go ahead and rack these onions onto this middle and top shelf. There are 2 different varieties in this bucket here today, as we have gotten most of the onions on this load in. So let's get to racking. And put the red ones up top. Now, we have one more box of onions to rack, so let's go get those and get these all finished up. Okay. We've gotten all of the onions racked. We have them here on this burlap sacks. As you can see, we have racked all the onions. They are all on these burlap bags now, lining the shelves. We did use a peanut bag for the top shelf because I ran out of burlap bags that were appropriate to use. So we are going to now be able to enjoy these onions throughout the winter because we have properly racked them. Now that these onions are cured and dried and racked, these will be good here on this shelf life for roughly 100 days because we have done this correctly. Just make sure that they have airflow going on them and they stay in a cool, dark place. You don't want to put them in a warm, sunny area, and just make sure that they have like a fan or circulating air in the room somehow. Thanks for joining me today while we rack these onions. I hope you learned something, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. I'm sure I missed something, but thanks for coming today, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Farm Life video.